Can
Yes.
It's a bit small, Bridget. If you could make it a bit bigger for us with poor.
Is that better?
Yeah. That's much better. Thank you.
You're welcome. So thank you everyone for coming. We have a lot of newcomers today. Welcome to our group. We hope we're able to. Dr. Rohi, you're looking so young. Wow. I'm seeing you for the first time.
Thank you.
Okay, so it's
from India. Yes.
Yes. Okay. So I think let's use this opportunity to welcome the new people. So I'm going to let you introduce yourself. So we've got Polly, we've got Rohi, and we've got Maimuna. So can I let you introduce yourself and then we can carry on? So I'll start with Polly.
Hello everyone, my name is Polly Gibb and I'm at Harper Adams University, and Maria suggested that I join the group, so thank you very much for that. I've worked for many years in entrepreneurship, women running businesses in rural areas, most of them based on farms, but increasingly not based on farms, trying to diversify income. So that's where I come in. So yeah, really happy to be here.
Well, we're happy to have you now, Miss Rohi.
Yeah, hello all. This is Dr. Rohi Khurshid. I am from India, specifically from Bangalore, Dayanand Sagar University. I work for Dayanand Sagar University. It's a private university. I teach entrepreneurship for UG and undergraduate and graduate students here in my university. And thank you, Dr. Bridget, for introducing me to this wonderful group where a lot of researchers from different parts of the world are joining together and making a difference. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes. Maimuna.
Hi, everyone. So I'm a second year doctoral student at Nottingham Trent University. My research is around women empowerment and identity within social care cooperative. Basically, it's a platform cooperative. So I'm looking at how digitization tends to affect work-life balance of women carers. And I attended some of the Dr. Bridget sessions, and I was very fascinated to learn about the research because I have some overlapping aspects of entrepreneurship as well in my research. So I was very fascinated by the seminars that I attended, and it feels great to be a part of this network to collaborate and to learn and, network with all the colleagues in the similar research teams. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Anthony Lokbe.
Right. Hi, everyone. So I'm Tolu Ibukun, and I'm a lecturer at Robert Gordon University in Aberdeen. So I'm an economist, and I just recently started working in the area of entrepreneurship with Chioma, who introduced me to this group, and it's lovely to be here, and I'm looking forward to the collaborations. Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. And we're going to start now. We hope each one of you that have joined us, I hope this organization will meet your individual needs. This is just a place where we come to support each other, network with each other, and help each other grow. The main reason why we started this organization is because we understand that individually, with the kind of teaching workloads that we have, we're limited in how much we can do, but collectively, we can really go far. And you will see that in some of the reports I'll present today of what we have achieved. It may look like we're not doing much, but we are really doing a lot from what you'll see soon. So that's me saying welcome to everyone, and I'm going to go straight to the next item on the agenda, which is to provide an update for the events that we had. Okay, so let me just open the document and I'll share with you now. Okay, so I'll share this new document with you. So before now, I've never really provided any updates on the events. So we're gonna start doing this. We're growing now, so we have to be more organized and structured in how we do things. So that's why I took some time to prepare this report for the last webinar that we had. The main purpose of this webinar, really, we have a vision to be able to impact on people that don't have the access to our research. Not every woman entrepreneur will read your research. Not every woman entrepreneur will know what you've been doing. So we needed to find a way that we can get out to them and see if they can partake in what we've done. So that's really the focus of our webinar series. So for this particular one, which is the second edition of the webinar series, the focus was on looking at the financial. Actually, we started, Sammy, please. Sorry. We started on looking at the financial implication of entrepreneurship for women, because women give up a lot to become entrepreneurs. They give up their jobs, regular paying jobs, so they actually lose income when they become entrepreneurs, because until the business begins to do very well, some of them don't even take a salary from the business. So they lose that regular stability of income that they usually have. So those are the things that we're trying to explore and see if women entrepreneurship is actually the best career option for women. So we had some amazing speakers. Felicia came from WIFI, which is a part of the World Bank, and she shared with us some of the things that they've been doing it at WIFI. And then we looked at the situation in other countries. Khadija too was there also, and she told us this experience from Gambia. Thank you, Khadija too. And so the objectives we set, I want to see if we actually met our objectives. One of the objectives for the webinar is to create awareness of the Women Research Network so that people will get to know us. In terms of that, there is no immediate way of knowing if we did that, but you can see that a lot of people have joined Women Research Network since the webinar, actually since we started advertising the webinar. So we have grown in terms of the two platforms, which is why I want to close the other one. On the Research Network group, we have over 180 people on there. On the other side, now we have over 170 people. So more people are beginning to join the network because of the things that we're doing. To generate leads also. So a lot of what we're doing can be funneled. The people share on their channels. People share, repost, and all that, share information on their channels. So it's generating leads. We did notice some repeat attendees, people who attended seminar, webinar 1, attended webinar 2, so that is also a good thing for us. And also have participants engage with us in what we're doing. You can see from this last webinar that people were eager to contribute in the chat box. They were adding their own ideas, and even some of them actually ended up speaking in the webinar. So in terms of what we've done so far, this is only the second one. The first webinar, we had 86 people register for that, and 53 eventually attended. Webinar 2, we had 139 register and 88 actually attended. So we've grown. In terms of registrations, we increased by 45%. In terms of attendance, we increased by almost approximately 50%. So that's what I got from Teams. This was what I got from Teams. 909 people visited our registration page, which is a lot. Okay, and then 139 actually registered and 88 actually attended. 2 people registered and cancelled, and then we had one identified participant that didn't register. I think got the link from someone else and joined. So that's why we don't have a record of that person here. So that is just that in terms of that. In terms of the speakers we had were very well informed and they were very generous with their time. They've also asked if we can add them to our mailing list that they like to come to future events. Okay, so some learning points for us. We didn't start marketing immediately. It is very difficult for one person to organize all this, and that's how it's been with my teaching load and everything, getting the confirmation from the speakers, getting the design of the flyer. I have to do it myself. I'm not an experienced artist or marketer, so I have to make do with what I can. So it's mix and match and all that. But going forward, we have to be consistent with our image. We have to be consistent with, because this is now a brand as far as it is. So going forward, I will need contributions for anyone who's experienced in that, so that the burden of the planning will be reduced and it will be much more effective. We did put out some feedback form for people, but it was not properly set up. Same again, it's me doing it and not getting it right. But going forward, I asked for what topic they will want us to discuss next. And you can see that the first one that has the highest response so far is women entrepreneurship. Do we need a policy shift? That has been the main one that people say they want to talk about, followed by women's entrepreneurship, women's economic empowerment. Is it a myth or a reality? What I'm going to do after this meeting, I'm going to send the same page to you guys. So every member of the network. So when we decide on the topics, we can take this going forward one by one. So maybe the next topic will be the next topic that is the most popular, and then the next. So essentially, if we agree with these 10 topics, so that is the next 10 webinars topic already agreed upon, and then we can start identifying speakers. Is that okay with everyone? So that is me with the reports. Any contributions? Contributions, ideas, comments, welcome.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you very much, Dr. Bridget, for putting everything together. I've got some really good feedback from some of the people that are part of my network that attended, and they'll be happy to join subsequent ones. For some of them, they were not able to join because of the time. So the time coincided with Juma prayers in Muslim majority countries. So some of the people that registered eventually realized that they couldn't join, but I told them that subsequently they could join after the prayer sessions. I'm happy to volunteer to support with the posting on the various platforms and sharing whatever activities that we're doing. I'm also happy to support with creating the posters or flyers if you need me to.
Thank you. Thank you, Kadi. That's really appreciated. Thank you. I've taken note of that. I hope you will not regret this offer.
It's recorded, Bridget. It's recorded.
Can
I add a thought?
Yes, please.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed the webinar and I thought it was great. The speakers were really good. And now I was a bit unsure. So I think some things probably need to be clarified about the order of the running. It felt more like a round table than a webinar. I mean, we had mainly a speaker who was sort of the lady from World Bank, who was really good and set the scene really well. And then it was more like a round table, wasn't it, where you were asking for, presenting little provocations to stimulate discussions. And I think that was lovely, but I wonder whether we should call it more a round table discussion than a webinar. Because as a webinar, I think people expect to sit back and listen, whereas a round table, they would expect to be able to discuss. And remember, I put my hand up and took it down. I thought, perhaps you don't want people to say anything. So my hand was a bit up and down, and I think Regina put her hand up and down. And it was, you know, I wasn't sure how you wanted me to engage. And I think, you know, some of those, just, you know, clarifying the rules of the game at the beginning might be helpful for people so that they know not just who's speaking, but have the round table discussion. And then you did open it to discussion, but it just wasn't sure at what point that would happen. But it certainly, you know, stimulated a lot of thought, didn't it? And I think people pretty much stayed from the start to the end. I don't think you had too much fallout, you know, in terms of people becoming disengaged unless they had to leave for another reason. Yeah, so perhaps in the next one, maybe try formalizing a little bit more how, you know, how you want people to engage might be useful.
Yes, thank you. I've never done this before, so I'm just picking up and just going like that, learning as I go. So, do you think we should change the title from webinar to roundtable then?
I don't know. I think it's either the webinar, it gave the impression of a webinar would be that we would be taught something. Yeah. We're sitting as passive recipients, whereas a roundtable is very much about making sure that there's a discussion and then a contribution, and that everyone's voice is welcome. And so, you know, you can leave it as a webinar, but, you know, make it clear that people are not just able to, but are welcome to participate, and maybe just give the speakers the time during that initial roundtable to set the scene for us in the way that they did, you know, with Caddy and the other speakers, because that was really valuable. It was valuable listening to their exchange, because they very much were talking amongst themselves, and I felt a little bit like we were doing a fishbowl exercise. We were sitting on the fringes listening to a group of really informed people talking about their experiences, and that was great. But I really wasn't sure what was permissible for me to do. I didn't want to ruin the formula, but at the same time, my head was fizzing with things I wanted to say and get involved in the debate. And yeah, just something for maybe for us to think about. You know, but if engagement is the key, we just need to invite people in and perhaps just set that scene at the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the webinar is in June, so we need to sort all this out in the webinar. Okay. All right. So I'm going to leave channel updates to the towards the end. Let's go on to websites, Charlotte.
Okay. Hi, everyone.
Hiya.
Hello. So we finally have a website. The website is finished. Maybe the last finishing touches would be to provide photographs. We have a page on the website that needs photographs, gallery of our members. So if you have photos of events, of anything interesting, we need some photos for that. So yeah, after a couple of months in the beginning, it was very difficult in terms of transferring the registered name actually from the UK, because that company was not hosting websites. So it was a long process to transfer to France, where I'm at. So anyway, we were able to transfer eventually and to build this website. So anyway, I hope that you had a look, and if you have any questions, yeah, you can just ask. So officially the hand over is tomorrow. The date is the 4th of May. There will be an email as well with the name of the website. Yeah. So I don't know if you have any questions or if you have tested and tried.
I'm going to add it now for those people who are new. You can look at it. If you want your photo and your profile on the website, please give us something that we can add to include you to the research. Yeah, go on, Charlotte.
Yes, regarding the photographs, I just want to make you aware. I mean, I've been sending messages on WhatsApp regarding sending good quality photographs, because the photographs determine the quality. If you have good quality photographs, it gives a good image website. So some of the websites are really blurry, and so if you could maybe from your institutions, if you have any professional photos, they will be nice. At least, you know, it's not fuzzy. Yeah, much clearer. If you can please have a look.
Yeah, and the write-up or your profile, the way you want it people to see, what you want people to read about you, that's what you should send to us, please. A lot of people, their profiles, I had to make up for myself because people were not responding. I kept asking, give me profile. So I had to go online and mix and match some things to give
I
to
know, yeah.
so please look at it. If that does not represent you the way you want to be represented, then send something that we can use to replace what we currently have there. Okay, thank you very much, Charlotte.
Bridget, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for coming in late, guys.
No worries at all. In terms of the look and feel of the website, we'll see, because we're still developing, we still work on contributions, ideas from everyone. So you can send on your ideas so that we can. Jessica, somebody's sending a message on Slack.
And sorry, one more thing, Bridget. We have a blog.
Yeah.
Okay, so please come up. We'll cook something for interesting news to share.
Can I say something about the blog, Charlotte?
Yes.
What I'm thinking, correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I'm thinking that we can pick up bits and pieces of our research and write on them and post it on the blog. That's way, because we will link that blog also to our LinkedIn page. So that's where more people to be reading your research. Don't put the full academic data and all of those things the way it is, but pick from the topic, give them just like a narrative around that research, and then we post it there as the blog. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And maybe also we should determine how often we have new posts, you know, so that we can plan it accordingly with a schedule, you know, like new blogs, whether it's every month, a new blog post or,
Okay, John, your hand is up.
I'm just, I've registered, but I'm just wondering where would I put a profile? Just practically, how do I get a profile on there? Is that something that, you know, register and then, you know, are you going to sort of send us a template for a profile or ask for a Word file or?
No, for the profile, people who register will not have their profiles there. You need to send your profile to Charlotte.
Okay.
Your profile is there. Your profile is already there. Check on the member.
Yeah, it's already there. It's for the members. The profiles are for the members.
Yeah. So I'm just
already there. Click on it. You
I see. Sorry, I didn't see that in the first place. I hadn't. I didn't think I was an executive member.
Also in the research lab as
but
well.
It's in the general members as well. You have on both sides.
You're on both sides.
Right. Oh, well, that's okay. So that's fine. So I can, right. That's great.
So you can read it and see if that's okay. And if you want to change anything,
So the other question I was going to ask is, you know, we want to give our news, don't we? For example, we'll come to it a bit later, that book proposal where we put out calls. It would be great, wouldn't it, if we put out our calls to our network first?
Yes.
And gave colleagues within the network a chance to respond to the calls that we get. You know, privileged member status before we put them out on other things. I know we're very keen, aren't we, to get them on LinkedIn and on Twitter and everything, but I think it would be great as well to put out our book calls and proposals or whatever to this network first and give people a chance to, you know, have a little bit of a heads up before we go out to a general call.
I think there's a community page there. In that community page, we have events there. So I think that's all of those things will be coming up there. And I also asked when we're designing the page that we should have a repository in that page so that we can actually upload our research there that people can download from that website as well. If they want our research. So we will have a kind of like a is it a bibliography they call it? That shows the list of all our publications of everybody within the research group. It will also be on the website.
I love the colour. I do love the colour.
Yes, you said so.
From Charlotte.
Okay, so now I'm going to go on to the next one, which is our conference update. Does anybody want to talk about the website anymore, or we should go on to the conference update? Anyone? Any more about the website? Joan, your hand is up.
I was just going to put a thumbs up, Bridget. Sorry, I got the wrong one. I was just going to say onto the conference.
Onto the conference. Okay. Can you see? Sorry. Yep. Can you see?
Yes.
Okay. So just like I said, a lot of people may not think we're doing something, but we have been working. So for BAM, we've submitted 3 papers to BAM. None of them is full paper. One of them have been accepted as development paper. And you can see the names of the people who have contributed to sending something to BAM. Now, those 3 papers that were submitted to BAM, because they're development paper, we've agreed that we'll send them as full paper to ISB. So development paper is just like a form of an extended abstract, not the complete paper. So we will send those 3 papers in full to ISB. But besides that, there are other papers that we're also sending. So there is in Habitus paper that we've been working on now for almost 4 years. Finally, it's going to go to ISB. There is the sustainability and well-being I talked about in the last meeting. So that is going into the book that we're doing, the Emerald Power Handbook. But we're sending it to ISB to present in ISB before it is submitted to the handbook. Then Bisola is working on another paper that is going to ISB. And then we also have the one I am working on. Joan, I've put your name down. I'm also adding Sunita to this. Sunita, your name is coming here. I thought I updated it before I came to this meeting. And I can welcome one, I think, into this paper. This paper is the outcome of our paper that won the ERED award. So that one we focused on the children and their social media use. Okay, so this time we're going to focus on a theory that was recommended by somebody who was in our presentation, Michelle. Remember Michelle June? So she said we can use a theory called degenerative affordedness. And then we're looking at it in terms of the family now, the parents, and their use of social media. And this also links to what we talked about in webinar 1. In webinar 1, I mentioned a lady I follow online. Her name is Lillian, and she's in the rural area. She cooks and then she puts on social media, and she shows different recipes. And I follow the channel because I want to give her more views, more likes, because I want to support her. And then in one of those views, I see she's just finished cooking and she calls the children, come, sit down, we're going to eat. And the way we eat, we're very traditional, eating with our hands and blah, 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 and putting so much food on the plates. Okay, and the comments that were coming were not nice. So, and then it got me thinking, these digital footprints she's creating for these children, will they grow up and appreciate this? Because they had no control in their images being shown at that stage on social media. So that's what the degenerative affordedness is going to look at. So if you want to join, you're welcome to join. That is a full paper that will be going to ISB. For rent, none has submitted a paper to rent, which has included me in, and so that is rent. There are 2 papers that has gone to GWO. One I'm doing with Charlotte, and one that I'm doing with Kenny. I will add the titles here. So if I add that, in total, we have 15 papers going out this year. So that's quite a lot of work. Now, Diana.
We also have the Dark Side project in BAM.
Okay, so in BAM. I have the full paper. Yeah, I'll add that. Yes, I'll update. That has been accepted as well. I'll update that record now, and I will share all of these files with you on the channel. So essentially, one of the things that concerns me here again is you can see that the same names are repeated. So there are people here who are not joining in anything, who are not benefiting from being part of this group. That's not what this group is about. This group is about participating, collaborating. We don't kick anyone out of any paper. If there is a space, contact the channel owners so that they can add you and you can collaborate with them. And if you have papers that you're working on outside of the group, you're not inviting people to join, it's also not good, because that's not in the spirit of collaboration. So I don't want to assume that because you're not coming up here, you're not doing something. If you are doing something, please share with the group so that you can see if there's 1 or 2 people within the group that will be part of that, because that's how we grow. That's what the hand in hand is all about, supporting each other, holding up each other's hands. So some people were not achieving and others are achieving. That's not good. So this is just my challenge to everyone who's not being shown near now. It's time to get working, join people. I still have space for one in the generative affordedness. There are still other, if you have submitted any book chapter anywhere, we can present it as a conference as well. Come, let people know what it is you're working on so that we can join you. Okay, any contribution? Anyone?
Well, sorry, I just wanted to say I will be willing to work on the generative affordedness, if there is space for that.
So you look there. Okay. All right. So that's that. If you have other conferences that you're attending that have not been included here, please send it to me so that I will update it and I will share this with everybody so you can add what you're doing. Yes, Polly?
Thanks, Bridget. Could I just ask, sort of in terms of process, so if I had an idea for a subject, I could bring it to this group and then get people would say, oh yes, that's interesting, I'd like to join in on that.
Yes, that's what we do here.
Brilliant.
So also, if you look at the tracker, I put the list there. We list our projects there that we're working on, so people can say they want to join. And if you're on Slack, what we do is that each of these projects have a channel. So when the channel is created, the collaborators on that channel, on that paper, will be on that channel. So if you're not on any channel, it means you have not joined any collaboration. Once there's a collaboration that you're part of, they include you on the channel and you can just keep chatting and doing your work on there on Slack.
Fab, thank you. That's proper collaboration, isn't it? It really is. Yeah.
Charlotte?
Yes, is this document on Google Docs?
This one? No, I'm going to upload all of them now. I just finished preparing them before this meeting.
Okay.
I'll upload all 3 of them on the docs.
Yeah, because I can't get Slack on my desktop. It doesn't support Mac.
Oh, that's why I hate Apple. They're very okay. I'll put it on Google Drive so that you can have access to it after the meeting.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anyone, any more contribution before we go on to the next topic? Anyone else? In terms of the PhD students, I think we have, okay, yes, Wasim, Memuna.
Yeah, thanks, Bridget. I was just wondering, there's this insider-outsider dynamics in research. So maybe if I could get a bit more about what this research is around, so maybe I could contribute to that because my research is around ethnography. So maybe I could use that aspect a bit if it resonates with what I'm getting from what the title is.
Sunita?
Hello, yeah, I'm here. Sorry, I'm here. So this insider-outsider dynamics and research is really a reflective piece that we're writing. So it's our experiences of researchers interviewing maybe our own co-ethnic community, or if someone's a single mother, what their reflection was doing their research in the context of single mothers and entrepreneurship. We've got somebody who has a partial disability, and she did some research in her field. So it's more of a reflective piece. We're still trying to frame it in the way it should be. So that's the angle we're coming from. And Bridget is going to talk about her positionality as a researcher in interviewing ladies from Africa, from various parts of Africa, and sharing a common background. And really, what comes out of that's the angle we're looking at.
All right.
Yeah, was that the perspective that you were seeing as well, or?
Yeah, exactly. Because I've completed my fieldworks and I've completed 30 interviews. So I'm also kind of reflecting on, because it's an autoethnography of
Yes.
my research. So I'm kind of reflecting on the experiences of women carers.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. No, definitely we'll have a discussion.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great.
So, Memina, after this meeting, I'll add you on Slack, and then Sunita will add you to the channel so that you can pick up on the channel.
Perfect. Thanks, Bridget.
Okay. Anyone else before I move back to the agenda of the day? I want to see if I change straight to the agenda. Can you still see agenda, or you're seeing the old one? What are you seeing? Agenda?
At the moment, we can see the list of publications and papers.
Yep. Okay, so I need to stop sharing that and then share
Yeah.
this one. All right, so the upcoming entrepreneurship colloquium is the next item on the table. So this colloquium is in collaboration with Joan and Gideon. I haven't written to Gideon. Joan, please forgive me. I need to send him an email. So it's Coventry and DMU that's putting this colloquium together. It's going to be an annual event. So it's just engaging in critical dialogues around entrepreneurship. So for the first one, we're looking at the dimensionality, multi-dimensionality of entrepreneurship. So we look exploring it from different contexts: religion, geographic region, blah, blah, blah. All of those different contexts we'll be exploring from. We've invited poster presentations. It's just a day event. We don't want full papers. We don't want anything like that. Just poster presentations. And then there'll be the guest speakers will focus on the Professor Wu will be talking about the socio-anthropological, perspective of social media on women-owned businesses. And then Joan will be looking at the otherness in entrepreneurship. Gideon will talk about transformational entrepreneurship, and David will talk about this multi-dimensional nature of entrepreneurship. And then between all of these keynote addresses, we'll have these small sessions and have these dialogues around the main theme of the event. So if you're able to come to DMU, please come. To be great to have you present. For those of you that have never met, maybe it's an opportunity to meet. It's on the 8th of July. If you cannot travel, you can do it online. You can join us online. The registration site will be open soon. I'll let you guys know so that you can register. You can join us online. You can even do your poster presentation online if you want to present. It's free. There is no cost involved. Joan, you want to add to that?
No, I think it's a great opportunity. We did colloquiums at Coventry a few years ago, and they fizzled out, partly because of changes in structure and all sorts of things. But the purpose of it is not to have long, detailed presentations by anyone, but to provoke a dialogue and have a number of dialogues going on at any one time. And so that people can perhaps join one or more dialogues and then try and identify. I don't know whether this is the way we'll finally work out, Bridget, still for discussion, isn't it? Whether the dialogue ends with an agenda for action that can be then taken forward to either future publications or research or to the next colloquium. So it's a bit like this, really. It's about community.
Yeah, you're frozen. Joan is frozen. Yeah. Okay, while we're waiting for her to come back, I'll just open up the next document that we'll be looking at. Okay, we will just carry on until she comes back. Okay, so while we're waiting for June, I'm sure you would have seen the Palgrave Handbook proposal call for papers that have gone out. We sent this proposal to Palgrave a long time ago, and we've been going back and forth with reviewers, edits, and all that. And at some point, we delayed because when the reviewers came back to us, it took us 4 months to respond. And so finally, we finally got the contract approved. Yeah, John, you're back. Go on. Go on, John. You're still frozen? Ooh. Okay. So we finally got the contract out. When I sent out the proposal, yes, John is back. Yes.
My Wi-Fi keeps dropping out. I'm really sorry. It drops out and then it comes back. So I probably should say it. Yeah, quick.
No worries. Go ahead.
So we've got the this is for the decolonisation book. We've got the contract. Well, we will have the contract. We've had confirmation of it, and we've got the chapter sections approved, and we put the call out yesterday. And so really, I think the next stage is to sort of confirm that these were the original titles. I think we need to start looking again, perhaps at where they fit within each of the sections. And just make sure that people are confident and comfortable in the bit that they were, positioning their paper. It's really tight for turnaround, isn't it, Bridget? I mean, they're looking for this book to be fully drafted by the end of this year. And we have effectively the opportunity to do 30 chapters in the handbook, of which we had about 19 that we'd identified already. That's why the call's gone out. So there's still plenty of opportunity for colleagues, to contribute.
And I also want to say, when I put out these titles, I did this without consulting with you guys. So if it's something you're not comfortable working on, please don't feel obligated. And if there's anyone within the group that looks at the title and say, "Oh, I think I like that title, I'll work on it," it's a book chapter. We don't need to have empirical data. You can do systematic review of any of these titles that you see here. That's putting it out there. So you're welcome to pick any title here and say, "I want to work on this for the book." But please be mindful of the turnaround time. And if you do pick this, then we need you to give us an abstract before the deadline for the submission of abstracts, and so that we can now allocate these chapters to real people now. This is the fictional one, so we can now go ahead and allocate them really to people. So write that down. If what we've given to you is not comfortable for you and you have other ideas, feel free to submit. If you like this and you think you can work on it, you can confer with people within the group to see how many people can join to do any of these chapters. I need to speak to Isaac if it's something he wants to do. But someone can actually take this title off Isaac, because Isaac is not part of this group. So if anybody here wants to go with this one, you're very welcome to have that topic as well.
Bridget, it might be worthwhile, because you say, you're right, this was the fictional one, wasn't it? What we did in the final proposal was we took the names away from the chapters. What we did was we listed who we felt potential contributors were, which were lots of people within the network, and then we listed titles under the classification of the part. So perhaps it might be useful if I recirculate that and put the chapters that we'd identified going under the 4 parts. Because we had eight chapters in each of the first 3 parts and 6 chapters in the research section. And so, they were indicative and not attached to people specifically, although we knew that certain people had said, "That's me, that's my area." Then we can make sure that we've got the balance right across all of the 30 chapters. So perhaps that's the next thing to do. Do you think we should? Yes,
we can do that, and then we share it on Slack and also on email, and email it to everyone so that people can. I'll email all the titles. So you're welcome to mix and match, choose any one that you want. We just need, the turnaround time is so tight for us. We need to deliver this book by 31st of December, and this book is going to print in March. So it's an opportunity for us to have from this network, we have all contributed to a book.
Which would be great, wouldn't it? And I think the other thing was, we said that the names we'd given were lead authors.
Yes.
And so there's, you know, where you want to collaborate, there's opportunities to do that, didn't we? So we sort of started with the names of lead authors. So I think once we get that other detail out, people can perhaps look at who they can collaborate with or would like to collaborate with. That would be,
yeah,
that'd be great.
Okay. So that any questions, please, or contributions?
I think there's some questions in the chat.
I was going to ask a question.
There are a few questions in the chat.
Okay, let's see. Daisy, what is the deadline for the abstract? 10th of June.
Okay. And you have for more chapters then?
Yes, we were sending out a call for papers. So if you have other ideas that are not listed, please go ahead and submit. That's why we sent out the call. We need about 10 chapters. This is way less than 30.
Right. I will do.
And they can be variable in length as well, can't they? I mean, that was the other thing we said. You know, we're not necessarily looking for everyone to produce 6,000 words. It could be more of an essay or a thought piece.
No, John, should we make it 5,000 to 7,000 because the book has to be 200,000 words?
Well, we do. Yeah, I know. I guess some people will go over, won't they? And others will perhaps go under. I mean, it's not. Yeah, perhaps we should see what comes in then, Bridget. You're absolutely right. It is 200,000 words maximum, isn't it, that we're looking for? So that's, you know, still quite a lot of words.
Yes. Dr. Rohi, there's no registration for the colloquium. No, it's free. There is no fees, rather, it's free. But you have to register. I'll share the link once the registration page is up. Polly, your hand was up.
Yes, I wasn't sure whether I was going to ask a question, but I will do in the spirit of no question is stupid, but this might well be a stupid question.
No.
So I'm a practitioner. I've spent 25 years working with women entrepreneurs, and I can see some of these chapters where I've got really good contacts, kind of grassroots contacts. So for example, the emergence of women in minority and entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm.
So would it be sort of my role could be on some of these kind of linking people up to grassroots organisations, but you might all have your contacts and you might all, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So would that be welcome? Would it be sort of not really the thing to do? You'd prefer, because I'd love to get involved with the research side.
Yes.
But I think actually, and I will do,
Mm.
but my strength in terms of what I bring to the table is probably the grassroots practitioners.
Okay. Thank you for bringing that up. I think I didn't say that when I introduced you and told you about the network. So what we do, like we always say, is not equal contribution, but equal efforts. So the efforts can come in another way, not in writing the paper, but in so many other ways. For instance, Choma has a lot of network in Nigeria that when we want to collect data, we call on her and we say, Choma, we need data. So if that is all you do, we will add you to that paper because that is a contribution to the paper. So if all your contribution is to help us collect data, then you're part of the paper as well. You're part of the research because the research will not be completed without that contribution. Does that answer the question? Okay. So, Choma, that is your title there. So I think you need to collaborate with Dr. Polly now to get the data that you need to finish that paper.
Absolutely.
Can I just jump? Oh, sorry. I was just going to say to Polly, really, I mean, the Harper Adams and the networks that you have around farming and agribusiness community and artisan entrepreneurship, there's a huge amount that we've been talking about across the group, in terms of lots of women who are working with agricultural, rural entrepreneurs in different parts of the world, and sharing those experiences and understanding the challenges and the travails that women have in those sectors across different contexts really would be good. And looking at the, you know, as you said, setting up perhaps cheese making or you know, other forms of food production or whatever, spin outs of the farm businesses, you know, diversification. There's loads you can contribute, really, and your networks will, I'm sure, be really valuable.
Okay. Okay. Any more questions, guys? Any more? So the next step, books we're working on some proposals now. That was started in almost 3 years now. It's Joan and me and Sunita, we've been dragging our feet, but it's a series proposal that we're working on. We started with Elise. We already submitted the framework for the proposals, so we just want to complete it. So with that will come 4 books that we need to produce in 2 years. So once that is approved, also we'll share it with the group. Now the next one we're going to, in terms of that proposal, Regina, we're co-opting you now, and Pam, we're co-opting Pam into that. We're co-opting Pam into that as well. And if anyone also, obviously, in terms of being editors of the book, we cannot put everyone in the group. So we're going to look for people who are, we know you have the time to do the work. Is a lot of work. There is a lot of work associated with this. People who have the time and people who have the expertise in that field of the theme of the book to be the lead on any of those books that we're putting through. So we'll be talking to you individually. I think what we'll do, Joan, is we can just take the titles of each of the books on the series and put it there, and then we'll see how we can get the interest from the people who can join.
So what we had thought about doing was using the GWO book as the first book, the one that came out of the GWO conference, but it doesn't fit with the original proposal that we put to Palgrave. So we're going to keep that one separately, aren't we, Bridget, and put that through, possibly through Emerald. And then we've added a couple of additional books, one on a different focus on leadership, women in leadership, but taking a multi-sectoral look at women in leadership, including, and that's why we're saying Pam, including women in leadership in higher education. And the other book we've added into that, provisionally at least, Regina, is one on faith-based entrepreneurship. I know we were talking about doing a separate one, but we thought if we looked at women's leadership in faith-based organisations, women's entrepreneurship in faith-based organisations, that gives us a really nice thread that we can take through that. Because the Palgrave Pivot series, it can be any number of books, you know. We're starting with 4, but we had 6 titles in mind, and we can produce one of those every 3 or 4 months. Once we get the series running, and so there's lots of scope there for people to participate.
Regina, you're mute.
Sorry. Would you mind circulating the original call or project, so I see how it fits together?
Absolutely. What I'm doing at the moment is I'm updating it to take out certain things. We need to unpack certain of the chapters because the feedback from the reviewer was that some chapter outlines were very detailed and others were very scant. So we need to homogenize in terms of level of detail for each of the books. And that's the bit that's happening now, and I'm working on that. And I did work yesterday, and I've done some today. So early next week, by the end of the bank holiday, I'll send it out to all the people who we've nominated as lead editors.
Don't worry, I've got I'm in the middle of marking 480 individual assignments alone. So
busy.
Exactly. I just want to see more or less what I commit to in future once that's gone. And also to see whether one of the books will be religious entrepreneurship or just mission-based, value-based entrepreneurship. to widen it a little bit up, because women might not necessarily lead a church, but they might lead something similar with, you know, a faith-based or values-based or mission-based.
So it's looking at the organization of work. It's looking at the role of women in the organization of work, or womanhood. So we can talk about any identity of woman. And it's looking at, what was the third one we said, Bridget? So it's organization type.
Yes.
I've forgotten now. It's here. Let me get my notes. Anyway.
Okay. While you're checking for that, I just want to add that that's our GWO 2023 book. That's the reason why I think I didn't do it as a handbook with Palgrave, is because Palgrave says they no longer want more than 4 authors in their as editors. Sorry, no, they no longer want more than 4 editors. And for that GWO were almost 7 because of the stream. So we might need to take that now to Emerald. I've spoken to Emerald. They're having a meeting on Wednesday to discuss book proposals. So I'm going to have to depend. Chioma, you need to come on board now. Charlotte, we need to sort this out over this weekend and Monday bank holiday, so that proposal can be discussed on Wednesday in the meeting, and then we can get. It's been hanging for too long now because of Palgrave. So the sooner we get it out to Emerald and get it sorted, the better, so that we can have that out as soon as possible. Okay, is that okay with you guys? So we'll move that over to Emerald, Joan. It's no longer going in Palgrave.
No, so if you can send me that template, I'll just copy it all over and restructure it. So the provisional title for book 6 we had was Women Entrepreneuring in Faith-Based Organisations. So it was really looking at, and that's just a working title. It was just, you know, to get our brain in place. It's really looking at what constitutes women and what constitutes organisation. And so looking at how women organise in different spaces. So the titles, the proposed titles at the moment, Book 1, Sustainable Inclusive Growth in Women-Led Organisations.
Couldn't hear that, sorry.
Sustainable and Inclusive Growth in Women-Led Organisations.
The second one was Challenges in Gender Equality, Diversity, Inclusion. And that's how we manage organisations and people, really, and how we manage it with the changing understanding of diversity and inclusion. That one's mine. Then the third one was Entrepreneuring in Crisis, Socio-Economic and Policy Perspectives. The fourth one is Gender Dynamics in Family Firms. The fifth one was looking at women in leadership, but in, you know, very broad. We left that one very broad because we can look in all aspects of women in leadership. That one really does need a bit more work. And I think we were looking at PAM, whether it's higher education, whether it's in different organisations. But one of the things we talked about there was how you manage people. I don't know who, somebody's got a terrible echo. How we manage people in different team contexts. So how women manage and lead in different ways, and how organisational change is changing the way we lead. I think that was it. And then the last one was Women Entrepreneurship in Faith-Based Organisations, or something like that. You know, we've talked a lot about religion, haven't we? We've got work going on, and how faith-based organisations work and manage, you know, entrepreneurship.
So the idea for the series is that now we have 6 books. So we have a different lead editor for each of the 6, and then we have co-editors. Okay, so that's what we're saying. With the lead editors, we're going to look at the person who's most suited for that field, that's a topic, and then that person would take the lead in each of those books, and other people can come in as co-editors. So we'll flesh that out and we'll circulate that with everyone in the coming day. I'm mindful of the time, so I'm going to let Charlotte talk about the special issue coming up, and then we can go to AOB. Charlotte?
Okay. So we had this symposium in South Africa beginning of April with the theme Sustainable Digital Transformation for Women Entrepreneurs. So this symposium was a post-conference, GWO conference symposium. Since last year, 2023, GWO went to Africa, organized an event in South Africa for the very first time. So we had a stream in the conference last year with Bridget and other colleagues. So the interaction and the exchanges were really, really good with Joan as well, yeah. And so we just wanted to take it further. So we proposed to GWO to do this symposium, to go back to South Africa to actually meet the women entrepreneurs, the practitioners, and have this exchange with them, and with a special issue coming out of that. So the special issue, I'll be sending it out, I think, on the 1st of June. And also, I'll be going to the GWO conference in Canada. It's from the 17th of June. So, because we have a stream as well in that conference, and the theme is quite close as well. So I don't think we'll ask for another special issue. So we're just going to combine the two because it's on decolonizing digital entrepreneurship for women. Okay, so I think I'll just post it in Slack before. I think I can do that before I release it to the public.
Okay.
Yeah. And then there's another, I'll post this information as well. There's an entrepreneurship forum conference in Portugal, the beginning of September. And there may be another special issue from that because I'm organizing a panel for that event as well. I'll share more about it.
Charlotte, can you send me the special issue proposal for GWO, the template for GWO?
I think I want to improve it because we had already written something, when we proposed to them.
Okay.
And then the final call for papers will be a bit improved, I think. But I can send you what we wrote before.
No, I want the empty template. We want to develop another proposal for a special.
I don't have a template. You just wrote it.
Don't you submit a proposal to them first before they accept for it to be a special issue?
I did.
Okay, that's
so I just wrote it with the logical way. I thought it was logical. I didn't use a template.
Okay, fine, I understand you. Please send to me because I think we want to just try to SBJ. What they call that? Somebody help
Small
me.
Business Journal.
Yes.
Yeah, with David.
Right. So we want to see if we can put a proposal. If you have ideas from this network,
I can ask him. I have. I'm in contact with the main the editor, the chief editor. I can ask him how we could do it.
About
whatever there's a format.
Thank you. If you guys have an idea of what we can use to do a special issue, and you want to join me in that journey, please signal so that we can. I'm not teaching from now to November. After November, I am busy again. So anything we can do, we just need to be able to do it now. So let me know if you have ideas for special issue, so that we don't only be a book group. We can also do special issues from this group, not just the books. Yeah.
Bridget, sorry. Okay. So from 2023, are we advancing?
2020.
The chapter.
Yes, 2023. That's the one I'm saying we have to do.
Okay, that's the one you said. Okay.
Yes, so we need to catch up after now. I'll send you guys, and then we can finalize it. They're having a meeting on Wednesday to review proposals.
Okay.
So sneak this one in so that it will be part of what we are reviewing on Wednesday. Okay. Any other business? Anyone? The floor is open for anyone who wants to say something. Any other business? Anything?
I was just going to say to Charlotte, when you're out there in Canada, lucky you, I wish I was going. You're out there in Canada. On the, decolonizing digital entrepreneurship you were talking about, if there's anything that you feel comes up that we're missing a trick around the decolonizing discussion, then that would be really helpful, wouldn't it? To have.
Richard, do you think you'll connect? No.
No money.
Online.
Yes, our stream is still not hybrid. They did not give us that. I've emailed them, they did not respond. So they're only, if you look at the registration link, only about 2 streams were given the online presentation link. So our stream was not given. Can you do online because Coventry?
So it means I'm all alone out of the 4 of us, I think, to run the whole stream.
I see what Fiona is not going.
I'm not sure.
Jessica?
No, Jessica can make it either.
Oh, wow. How it's the food that 4 of us would have eaten.
No. Can I just say, though, I mean, it is a really sort of out of the way trip, isn't it, for this one? They've chosen a very remote, I think, place to get to.
It's such a long trip, even, hey?
Yeah, but a very long trip, even, from here, let alone if you're further afield, But I also heard that GWO, that Wiley were looking to reposition GWO as more mainstream.
Yeah, I know.
There was a walkout
in politics. Yeah,
there's been a lot of problem. At some point, GW was concerned that people would not come for the conference, and they went out media campaign to see that people are not pulling out of the conference.
So the organizer was stressing.
This is an opportunity to get special issue out of GWO, guys. I think we should try and put another one in, because they're desperate to get people to keep validating what they're doing. So anyone with ideas, please, let's just put something together and send to GWO as a special issue. Different from the one Charlotte is putting now. We can put in another one. Guys, please, if you have ideas, let's pull together and do one. Jalila, your hand is up.
Okay, hi everyone, good evening. Yeah, so I just a quick one on the HOB. Yes. I want to say that apart from research collaborations, I want to suggest that if people on the call or people on this group have information regarding academic part-time jobs or any opportunities that we can all benefit from, I think it would be a great idea if it is shared on the WhatsApp group. So it's not going to only be research collaborations. It's going to also, be like we're collaborating, helping ourselves to gain, especially for those of us who are just coming into academics, trying to learn. So I think it will be a great idea if you could share any links for job opportunities, say part-time or any hourly. It's just a suggestion anyway. That's what I feel. So thank you for giving me audience.
Can I answer that? Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm thinking it could be maybe before the web developer hands over the website, it could be a little section to add as resources, under resources or something on the website that we can share this information regarding positions, professional opportunities. Yeah.
Please ask.
Sounds super.
Yeah.
Great suggestion. Thank you.
Yes. Yes. They should have that. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other business? Thank you. Some people are not on the WhatsApp group. If you want to be added to the WhatsApp group, please put your number in the chat and I'll update the WhatsApp group. Yeah. Thank you all for this meeting.
Bridget and everyone.
One last apology from me. Every time I try to update the meeting invite to add new person, you all receive the invite again. I don't know how to do it. So please, when you keep receiving those invites, ignore it. It's just me adding a new person to the group. So if you know how I can do it so that you don't all get the update, please share that information with me because I don't know. I just see that I'm bombarding you guys with meeting invites over and over. It's just every time I add a new person, you receive the invite all over again. I'm sorry about that. Okay. Any other thing?
I think we need to give you some help, Bridget. What I think we need to do is maybe have some officers volunteering where you need help. So perhaps put, you know, a volunteers section. We've got a fantastic body of people, so I'm sure they bring with them a fantastic body of expertise around administrating this. You know, it can't all fall on your shoulders, can it? So please, let's get a volunteer list where people can distribute, you know, we can distribute some of this help across the network a bit.
And also, I think for PhD students and others, it might be a great opportunity to add this volunteering experience as work experience, which might help with job applications.
Yeah, I think like 3 people already volunteered now, so I'm sure many more on the chat. People are already volunteering.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we've got like 4 people now. So
thank you.
Brilliant.
I'm going to pick up on you and I'm going to share some of the responsibilities to you guys. So I'm going to set up a meeting with all of you volunteers. Please let me know your availability and I can just share some of this. I need someone to manage the social media. If you're happy to do that, please take it away from me. I am old school. I am terrible with this. Regina, you're laughing at me.
Queen of all channels, Google and I don't know, Teams and Slack and so on. You are not old school, my dear. How are you gonna make me feel if you are old school?
Sumita, your hand is up.
Yeah, I've got my hand up, Bridget. So obviously this group is growing and I know there'll be some, you know, obviously expenses along the line. So, you know, it might be a case where, you know, you might be paying for something and we don't want you just to do it. You know, we don't want everything to fall on you. So I was wondering if some point we can have a discussion about that. So you don't, you know, if something comes up, you know, you're not pocketing it out of your own pocket. We can't force anyone. I understand that. But, you know, I'd be willing to help where I can.
Yeah, I have the same thoughts, and it might be worth having a conversation about that, because I feel as well that, you know, I feel very uncomfortable with Bridget having to pay everything out of her own pocket. And I think this network gives us such a great platform to also share ourselves and our research and network, that I think I'd be happy to contribute also financially. And it's just sometimes just a one-off little £10 or £15 or something to set up. It's like with any startup, the startup costs, right?
Yeah.
But they add up. And for one single person, it is a lot. It can become a lot. Whereas if we all put in a bit, that might help.
Can I just throw in as well, GDPR, as we grow and we start to secure personal information, like, for example, mobile phone numbers and email addresses, we probably need to start to get our database and data protection heads on a bit and make sure that we've got a members list that is secure.
Yeah. So I think I was going to talk to Charlotte about putting an SSD certificate on the website.
Yeah.
Because right now, if you click on the website, it says this website is not secure. So we need to include an SSD certificate. So we're testing for that, and
I can do that. Yeah, it's not an extra payment. I was just not done actually.
Okay.
So and also the email should be working. The info at and there's possibilities to make more addresses, create more address emails. So the SS thing is just that I should do it actually. It's because he was still building and but now it'll be done. I can do it even now actually.
So
and even some of those volunteers that we've had, if they could volunteer to perhaps field some of those email queries rather than all going into one person, or a couple of people, it might be good to have people who are committed to look at the emails and respond as part of the,
Okay.
I'm thinking even when we have events, we could have a business card with Bridget at Women's Research Network.org, just with direct, if there are specific things, concerning, I mean, when the network is going to grow, we need to share responsibilities concerning different matters.
Yes, we do.
Okay. Thank you. And we need to look at, particularly on our website, terms and conditions of people engaging on the website. We need to put all of those things in place. So if anyone wants to volunteer to look at other people's websites and see what the terms and conditions are, and we can piggyback and adapt to suit our own website so that we can upload that as well onto the website. Because anybody who signs up on the website needs to know what they're signing up to and not come back and say why this happened, why that happened.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, everyone. I'm very grateful for your presence today, for sharing your evening here with all of us, and I look forward to seeing you all next month. For those of you who are new, I needed your permission to add you onto the ongoing Memuna, for instance. So with your permission, I can add you to the ongoing discussion.
Yes, definitely, Bridget. I really love the session, and it's great to be part of such a learned community. And it's great. Please add me to all the platforms that you have.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks.
I forgot to add when I was giving the report from the 2 webinars. We currently have a database of about 200 people. So someone will have to be managing our database for us. One of the volunteers, I'll give that to you. So we're already building big networks from this.
All right.
Finally, you may have seen on LinkedIn, I said the other group channel, we have to close it. It's creating a lot of confusion.
Yeah.
So closing the group, everyone go onto the organization page now. So I will deactivate that page in 5 days to give people the opportunity to cross over to the other page. So if you've been on the Women Research Network group, please go onto the organization page, which is Women Research Networks. Because the group was already existing, it couldn't allow me. I had to put the S to differentiate. So when the group is closed now, I can change that name to Women Research Network without the S. So please move over, and then we can close that channel down, that network down. Thank you, everyone, and see you again in a month's time.
Have a good weekend.
Friends on Slack.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.